Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss the important articles of various newspapers in our current affairs capsule, which are highly relevant for UPSC. If we observe it, United Nations has appointed a commission on Israel's Hamas war. This commission is Independent International Commission of Inquiry, and this commission has given a report on Israel's war in the Gaza Strip. And if you look at the report, it clearly stated that Israel is culpable for genocidal acts and also war against humanity under the Rome Statute and the Genocide Convention. So why it has accused Israel of these genocidal tendencies? First and foremost, Israel has conducted a systemic attack over region of Gaza where rape was used as a war mechanism, naked parading of women was done, and along with that, a deliberate attack on health facilities which are present in the Palestinian region was conducted. And this has compromised the reproductive rights of Palestinians, and there were many maternal deaths because of absence of availability of basic medical facilities for the Palestinian women because of the Israeli blockade of Hamas or Gaza Strip. So this is one of the major news in the newspaper. So definitely, so if we observe the report, it is clearly stating that under the Rome Statute and along with the Genocide Convention of 1948, Israel is culpable for genocidal crimes. So what is the meaning of genocide? Genocide is a deliberate act of a state party using systemic violence in order to eliminate a religious or a ethnic group or a particular community in a systemic fashion, then it is called as genocide. And definitely Israel is culpable for these crimes. Why? Because if you look at the overall number of casualties in the war in Gaza, on the Palestinian side, the number of casualties are nearly 46,500. Whereas on the Israeli side, the number of casualties are just 1,700, which shows that Israel has used disproportionate force on the people of Palestine. Because of which reason only this report has stated that Israel is culpable for acts of genocide and crimes against humanity. In fact, the basic facilities which are necessary for women, they are not available, and this has in fact compromised the reproductive rights of Palestinians. And if you look at it, one more important thing that has been said is the report, it clearly states that Israel is a signatory of the Genocide Convention of 1948, and Israel historically was also a victim of genocide, but it is perpetrating the same crime against humanity which it has suffered. See how unfortunate it is, but the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has clearly stated that Israel is, in fact, the report is biased, and he also said that the report is anti-Semitic in its nature, which shows very clearly that he is not ready to accept any of these accusations. But let's wait and see what will happen in the International Criminal Court, which is established under the Rome Statute to prosecute the people who are accused of genocide. And along with that, right now, there is an ongoing dispute in the International Criminal Court, ICJ, where South Africa has filed a petition against Israel, saying that it is conducting genocide in Palestine. We have to wait for the outcome of ICC and ICJ, see what would be the final report of these two international courts, sir. Then the second important news that has come is the Tamil Nadu government in its budget has replaced the symbol of rupee, okay, which has been used from 2010 with a new symbol which is in Tamil language, which is pronounced as Ru. And Ru means Rubai, which is the Tamil term for rupee. In fact, if you look at it, this is a clear indication of the government of Tamil Nadu that it is trying to remove all elements of Hindi from its state policies. If you observe this, the term rupee that is present usually is a representation of the Devanagari script, and there is also some Roman influence in it. Because of the Devanagari script influence, the Tamilian or the Tamil government of DMK under Stalin is planning to remove this symbol and replace it with a Tamil symbol, which is in fact a representation of Rubai, that is a Tamil term for rupee. But okay, in a contrast, the very symbol, that is rupee symbol, was originally given by a Tamilian by the name of Uday Kumar, who in 2010 won a contest for design of the symbol of rupee, which has been adopted by the Indian government. It means that the Tamil Nadu government has rejected a symbol which has been proposed by a Tamilian. Okay, but the finance minister has clearly stated that this assertion of a new symbol for rupee in the budget document is unnecessary regional chauvinism, and it is also showing a secessionist tendency. And she stated that this is a symbolism which can be avoided in the interest of unity and integrity of India. Then apart from this news, one more important news is with respect to the 𝐾𝐞𝐽𝐽 Council in Manipur, which has lifted the blockade on the national highways. In fact, if you observe the Manipur region, there is a mountainous part to the region, the hill area. And from this hill area only the valleys of Manipur are accessible. And in these hills, two important national highways, that is National Highway 2 and 37 pass. And when these two national highways are passing through the hill region and reaching the valley, the 𝐾𝐞𝐽𝐽 community, which is dominant in the hill regions, what they did is they conducted a blockade in order to deny the valley region, which is dominated by the Meitei population, the essential commodities. And this blockade is in force from March 8th on. But now the 𝐾𝐞𝐽𝐽 Council has lifted the blockade, but it said that it has lifted the blockade only for the sake of commercial vehicles, but private vehicles cannot travel in this highway, whereas the Home Ministry is emphasizing that the blockade should be completely lifted and free movement of vehicles should be permitted. Okay, but let us wait and see what will happen next, because the Manipur state is right now under president's rule, and because of president's rule in the region, the security forces, that is Central Reserve Forces and security forces, they are conducting combing operations, and they are also removing the weapons from the 𝐾𝐞𝐽𝐽 community. So what will be the next outcome? We have to wait and see. Then the third prominent news which has been in the newspaper is with respect to the outcomes of India-Mauritius relation because of the Prime Minister's visit. In fact, Narendra Modi's second visit to Mauritius, his first visit was in 2015. Now this is the second visit of his. And if you look at this visit has many important outcomes. On a personal level, definitely the Prime Minister of Mauritius by the name of Naveen Ramgoolam, he in fact gave a very good reception to the Indian Prime Minister, and the Indian Prime Minister was also awarded the highest national award in Mauritius, that is Grand Commander of the Star and Key of Indian Ocean. Then over and above that, India and Mauritius share historical and cultural ties, because nearly 70% of the Mauritius population is Indian origin population. So because of which reason, there are strong ties between India and Mauritius. And Mauritius is also a key for us to secure the Indian Ocean region. Mauritius can be a pathway through which we can access the continent of Africa, and Mauritius is an important player in global south. Because of all these factors, India gives very high emphasis on India's relation with Mauritius. And the key outcomes of the Mauritius visit are, first and foremost, India has promised a lot of developmental aid to Mauritius. That is, we plan to construct a parliament building, and along with that, we are also extending nearly 487 crore credit in order to build the water supply infrastructure in Mauritius. The third thing is, Indian government has permitted bilateral trade in national currencies between India and Mauritius. This is the third important outcome. And the fourth important outcome of the relation is, India has said that India is going to support Mauritius with respect to its plan of renegotiating the current situation of Chagos Islands with United Kingdom. And India says that whatever decision is taken by the Mauritius government, India is going to respect the decision. And we also have upgraded our relation to enhanced strategic partnership. And over and above these four things, one important statement of the Indian Prime Minister was Mahasagar. In fact, if we observe in the previous visit of Indian Prime Minister in the year 2015, in the Mauritius island itself, he has proclaimed a new strategy for Indian Ocean, which is called as Sagar. And Sagar means security and growth for all in the region, which has been proclaimed by the Indian Prime Minister in 2015, a decade ago. Now, in 2025, when he visited the same island again, he has given a new term called Mahasagar. And Mahasagar means mutual and holistic advancement for security and growth across region. So he has rephrased and recoined a new term in order to show the enhanced interest of India in Indian Ocean. And the Mahasagar full form is mutual and holistic advancement for security and growth across region. And under the Mahasagar initiative, we are planning to develop the trade relations, capacity building for sustainable growth, mutual security for shared future, technology transfer, concessional roles, and over and above that, bringing the voice of Global South to the global high table are the important initiatives under the Mahasagar initiative. So these are the plans which India has to Mauritius, and apart from the personal relation, even strategically and economically also, the visit to Mauritius is of very high significance. Then over and above this, one more important news in the newspaper of today is with respect to ISRO's SPADEX program, that is Space Docking Experiment Program. ISRO in the December of 2024 has launched PSLV-16, and in the PSLV-16 it has sent two satellites. One is SDX-01, that is also called as Chaser, and the second is SDX-02, that is also called as Target. And this launch was done in December in order to experiment with docking, undocking and rendezvous. So these are the three things that we are planning to do: docking, undocking and rendezvous in the space between two independent spacecrafts. In order to experiment with this itself, we have launched a mission PSLV-16 in the year 2024 December, and in January the two spacecraft, that is Chaser and Target, they have docked with each other. Now, after the docking, yesterday what has been done is we have first time successfully undocked the spacecrafts. And now both the spacecrafts are moving independently. This shows the India's success in space docking experiment. And India became the world's fourth nation to successfully conduct this space docking experiment. And as part of this experiment, what we have done is we also have transferred electricity between one spacecraft to another spacecraft. Space docking is very, very important, primarily to develop Indian space station, because if we establish an Indian space station, their docking and undocking should be done with the new satellites. Then over and above that, it is also very important for India's plan to send a manned mission to moon. And along with that, the third important thing is it is very important to bring back the samples from moon to earth. Also, docking and undocking is very important, because of which reason this displays the technological capability of ISRO, that is a mission is SPADEX mission, that is space docking experiment. Then over and above this, one more important news is with respect to, there is good news for Russia-Ukraine war, because Putin has clearly stated that he is going to support the ceasefire. As Ukraine has, in fact, under the American pressure, proposed a ceasefire for 30 days, the Russian president, after negotiating with the Belarusian president, he also accepted that he is backing the ceasefire for 30 days. But he has raised some important questions. What questions were raised by him? First and foremost, he stated that we need to first and foremost address the root causes of the conflict in the ceasefire period. If you are ready to address the root causes of the conflict in the ceasefire period, then we are ready for the ceasefire. The second thing is, he said that already nearly 1/5 of Ukrainian territory is occupied by the Russian forces. So what should happen to this 1/5 of territory should be negotiated and settled. And along with that, already the Ukrainian troops which are present in Russian territory, particularly in the Kursk region, they are already surrounded by the Russian troops. Whether these Ukrainian troops will surrender their arms is the third question that he has raised. And fourth question, very importantly, that he raised is what mechanisms would be established in order to deal with any breach of the ceasefire. Because if ceasefire is accepted, if one party breaches, there should be a mechanism in order to deal with it. And he pointed out that there should be a clear-cut mechanism. And over and above that, the fifth thing that she talked about is what would Ukraine do in these 30 days if it is going to rearm and remobilize its troops in the 30-day period. Then Russia is not going to accept the ceasefire. If these 5 questions are answered properly, then Russia is going to accept the ceasefire for 30 days with Ukraine, is the statement which was made by Putin. Thank you.
కాంపిటేటివ్ ఎగ్జామ్ సంబంధించి ప్రత్యేకంగా సివిల్ సర్వీసెస్ ఎగ్జామ్ సంబంధించి ఏ ఆప్షన్ చూస్ చేసుకోవాలి, ప్రిపరేషన్ ఎప్పుడు స్టార్ట్ చేయాలి, ఏ బుక్స్ రిఫర్ చేయాలి, ఇలాంటి డౌట్స్ ఉంటే CSBIS అకాడమీని కాంటాక్ట్ అవ్వచ్చు. దీనికి సంబంధించి నా పర్సనల్ అపాయింట్మెంట్ ఈ వీడియో పైన డిస్ప్లే అవుతున్న కాంటాక్ట్ నెంబర్కి ఫోన్ చేసి తీసుకోవచ్చు.